Hello, investors. This is Zhang, portfolio manager at Revere Asset Management. Today is Monday, June 23rd, coming to you from Fort Lauderdale with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Today in the market, we are still in the uptrend. Looking at the GROTECTION gauge, we have three green up arrows, market leaders, short-term trend, medium-term trend, and the long-term trend still stays at neutral just because the Dow, mid caps, and small caps still remain below their 200-day moving averages. So what happened today? Iran conflict volatility resolves in higher prices. Although when you look at the board, pretty much everything finished green. At one point of the day, it was some great volatility in the middle of the day that ended up being bought up by the institutions because we pretty much realized that the Iran conflict with Qatar and the US wasn't going to resolve in anything material. So 21 over 21 list up 0.27%, 11 up, 2 neutral, 8 down. And the big one was HIMS down 35%. And that really hurt the turbo portfolio today. We had about a 7.5% position size, close it all around minus 24, 25%. So that was the big hitter there for us in turbo. We'll definitely go over all the trades. 21 over 21 list. Turbo 12 down 0.52%, 6 up, 6 down. Big 8 up 1.65%, RG8 up 1%, S&P 500 up 0.96%, RSP up 0.88%, Qs up 0.93%, QQEW up 0.98%, Dow Jones up 0.89%, midcaps up 0.84%, Russell up 1.11%, 60/40 equities bonds up 0.61%, and GROTECTION up 0.51%. Turbo got hit today, down 3.37%. So jumping right into the charts, and now we'll go over the portfolios. S&P 500 daily chart. It ended up becoming bullish engulfing off the 21 EMA, but I want to show you intraday volatility was quite large. We opened pretty much flat, rallied to over 6,000, and then there's some news that Iran started firing missiles at a U.S. military base in Qatar, and that led to this sell-off intraday from 6,000 to 59.43. At that point intraday, 59.43, it started to look like an outside reversal breaking the 21, but that attack didn't materialize into anything, and the markets responded positively, ripping from 59.43 almost 100 points, closing at about 60.25. So that is the highlight of the action in S&P 500 today. Let's continue on. RSP, similar action, shook out up below off the news and closed highs of the day. Qs, same thing. Found support of the 21 EMA, still building this flag here, closing highs of the day. QQEW undercut, reclaimed the 21 EMA, closing highs of the day after the conflict. Dow Jones bullish engulfing, closing back above the 200-day moving average, which is a good first step to see. Midcaps also bullish engulfing, reclaiming the 21 EMA as well, still below the 200-day and 150-day. Definitely want to see the nexus or this index get above that line right there. Small caps undercut, reclaimed 2100, the 21 EMA, and bullish engulfing. Now we just want to get back above the 200-day moving average. The VIX initially spiked off the news, but backed off and closed below 20, which is a good sign. The dollar, huge bearish engulfing off the 50-day moving average. Gold just continues to consolidate. Nothing much to talk about here. Same with gold miners, just finding some support near the 21. It's starting to bail out this flag. Silver hasn't been pulled back to the 21 yet, but it's holding up well. And this one looks like it wants to see higher prices. Bitcoin, I'm going to go over to TradingView. We had this huge shakeout off the attacks by the US. And after today, we undercut, reclaimed the 100,000 in this June 5th low. And so far has acted really well, moving about 3% off that low. So now what this looks like to me is a cup and with the handle and a mini double bottom in the handle as well. Looking at the weekly chart, looks really constructive. So we will see what happens here. Reclaim the 10 week moving average as well. So this is definitely looking good. Continuing on, looking at bonds. 2-year dropped 4 basis points, but still pretty much in a range. 10-year dropped 3, still in a range as well. So nothing too significant in the bond market either. You can see the IBIT ETF undercut reclaimed that 57.70 level and found support at the 50-day moving average as well. And oftentimes these undercut reclaims can lead to fast moves in the opposite direction because effectively it's a failed breakdown. So now I just want to see the rest of this handle develop, and I'm still quite bullish Bitcoin itself. So with that being said, that is it with the inter-asset correlation. Let's talk about the tail of the tape, and let's go over the portfolios because those who have some money invested in Turbo are probably dying to hear about what happened. And HIMS is just an unfortunate situation for both Grow and Turbo, but Turbo had significantly bigger size in there. So let's first go over this. We're still operating under the bull case, continue to hold the 21 EMA, which is perfect. The news, we had a strong reversal. Pretty much what happened was US attacks Iran. We used our bunker busters with the B-2 bombers over this weekend. US intercepts Iranian missiles today as they fire over at Qatar. And then oil clearly is signaling that this conflict is probably over. You can see if you go to USO, huge reversal, bearish engulfing. So that is a great sign. Back to the tail of the tape. Today's keys, we're watching S&P versus 21, which we held. We closed above 59.43. Q's also held at 21, and we closed above 528.3. And then Russell still below the 200-day, but holding the 21 EMA. Day count, consolidation 7 to consolidation 8. 1 day back above the 8 EMA and 41 days above the 21 EMA. Expectations are still positive. Strong sectors today, bonds, home builders, uranium, and airlines. Dollars red, oil, energy, and pharma. In Grow, we sold HIMS and sold TEM, 1.28 beta, 4.3% open heat. Turbo, from the volatility, we had to stop out some of our stocks like at break even. CoreWeave at break even. MBIZ was for a loss. Ethereum, that was a trailing piece of our position. Decided to close that out since it broke the lows of the base. Uber, really, we decided to, since it really hasn't done much in the last 2 months and the relative strength line is lagging far behind, we closed that one out. SMR tagged us at break even as well, and same with TEM. So beta got reduced significantly, 1.06 with 3% open heat. And bottom line is Iran conflict volatility resolves in higher prices. Tomorrow's keys, we're still watching the 21 EMA, but the highs of the range now 60-60 for the S&P, 537 for Qs, and still watching the 200-day moving average for the Russell 2000. Let's go over the portfolio changes. HIMS, Wegovy, or sorry, not Wegovy. NVO terminated their contract with HIMS today, giving HIMS license to distribute their Wegovy product, and that was precisely the reason why HIMS gapped up in the first place. So that story is done for now. This is the highest volume sell really ever, and closed at the dead lows, down 35%. This was a nasty thing for us, but we had to manage risk, and we sold it right off the open when it broke the 50-day moving average. And that still saved us another 10%. TEM continues to reject 1, 2, 3 times of the 71 level and just leaks off now, closing right at the 21 EMA, but it did tag our break even during the Iran volatility. So that's Grow, HIMS and TEM. We also sold HIMS and TEM in Turbo, and I actually did not list that, but yes, HIMS we sold as well. We also sold CoreWeave, just huge failed breakout when it came back in through this line, and then it tagged us at break even as well. Our average is around 161-ish, and it did end up reclaiming. So got shaken out of that one. It happens. MBIZ as well. And you can see the intraday, this huge sell off the Iran news. We had to manage risk there and cut it for a max stop loss of about 6 to 7%. We can easily buy this one back if it sets up again, but we had to manage risk in real time as we are we're already feeling the pressure from the unfortunate hinge gap down. Ethereum broke the lows of the base, so that was simple. We just got out. There's only a 1.5% position left. Uber, you can see this relative strength line has just been trending down, living below the 21 EMA and now the 50. Just decided to get rid of it. But on second look, this is starting to look like it's going to turn up. And if this relative strength line breaks this downtrend line, you might just have to rebuy it, but we'll see. Right now, it really has done nothing for us in the last 2 months, but it is forming this flag here. We can always buy it back. There's no worries. SMR, also nice move up, but just pulled back and stopped this break even. We just have a rule when we're up 10, 15% plus, we don't let a stock come back and go into the red again. So those are the portfolio changes and remaining positions that we hold in Turbo. Bitcoin, again, talked about that one. Really nice undercut and rally. Hood continues to trend nicely. Lu, the nuclear name that doesn't stop. And then GEV, another power generation name, looking to make new highs as well, closing just below $500. And so, that being said, I'm going to jump into the 21 over 21 list. Let's start from the top. Tesla up 8% today off the RoboTaxi launch in Austin. Clearly, investors are liking the product so far. DoorDash makes a new all-time high. Beautiful action. Spot, a new all-time high as well. Great action. GEV, pretty much a new all-time high. All-time high closing price. Great action as well. Net, looking to break out of this cup with handle. Zscaler continues to make higher highs, I believe. Not all-time highs yet, but new 52-week highs. Palantir continues to hold up nicely. GDX also finishing this flat base as well. On the downside, CoreWeave down 5.4%. Looks to be a shakeout so far. Tem, when we both got stopped out of, just broke that low, broke the 8, and stopped us at break even. Hood, even though it was down today, is acting well. Still well above the 21 EMA in an uptrend. EQT natural gas name, just a normal pullback, still well above the 21 EMA, so nothing wrong there. CRDO as well, struggling a little bit against the previous left side peak, but that is completely normal. It just needs some time to tighten up here and put in another handle. MBIZ, this just continues to leak off, and we stopped out for our max stop about 6-7%. Light continues higher. Coin, a little volatility, but this is strong after it broke out this flag on the stable coin regulatory clarity news. And that is it for the 21 over 21. Turbo 12, HNGE, Hinge Health, looked to break out of its IPO base, but squatted back in. Lemonade makes higher highs here and starting to show some momentum actually. Oddity Tech, the AI makeup name, pops above the 21 EMA again in the short term flag right here. Dave continues to trend nicely, reclaiming the 21 EMA. KTOS Aerospace and Defense name pushes into new highs, but reverses towards the lows of the day. Lu, nuclear fuel name. This just needs to base or consolidate for a little bit and continues to find resistance around 200. Guardian Health, still struggling to break out, but that 50 level looks like it remains key. Cecil, just an amazing trend up in this little channel right here. MP Materials is something I am watching for high tide flag. Pretty much made a 100% move in a few weeks. Now we just need to see a flag form, and this could be a great opportunity to get on the rare earth mineral theme. AAOI reclaims a 200-day moving average. We decided to put this one on because it's starting to curl. And we just want to pay attention to this because it's known for its LiDAR equipment, I'm pretty sure. INOD, huge base forming, and data is a huge part of AI, is one of the scarcer parts of AI. There's 3 main contributors or factors in the build of AI. It's compute and data centers and power generation, the algorithms, which is all from research and development, and then finally data. It is all about data, what we train the AIs with. So that continues to play a big role. And finally, QUBT, quantum name, down 7%, was down 15% the lows on a 14 million share offering. So that concludes the Turbo 12, 21 over 21 list, and what happened in our portfolios and the markets today. That being said, obviously no one likes to get caught in a 20% plus gap down on a surprise termination of the contract. Those things will happen, but we just had to manage risk. We got out of HIMS, which saved us another 10% on the 7.5% position. And yeah, with that being said, we'll wrap it up for today's video. Today's Monday, June 23rd. You can always email me at ted@revereasset.com. My Twitter X is Ted H. Zhang. Our phone is 855 Real Wealth. That's 855-732-5932. Website is revereasset.com, and our social medias, YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok is at Revere Asset. So please like, share, subscribe if you enjoy our content, and have a great rest of your day, and tune in for tomorrow's daily video with Connor.